Republican presidential candidate Michelle Bachmann has caused quite a controversy with his Christian counseling centers that appear to try to convert gays to heterosexuality through prayer. But can human behavior and attraction be changed? Can you really pray the gay away? Joining us is Stephen Bennett, a self-proclaimed former gay man and founder of Bennett Ministries, along with his wife, Irene. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
Now, Steve, you lived as an active gay man for 11 years, right?
Yes.
Now, so why did you change?
You know, it's trying to make a long story short. I was a gay man until I was 28 years old, and you know, I grew up in a life where my dad was an alcoholic, a very wealthy home in Connecticut, but a father who was just never there for me. He was an inventor and just many crazy inventions and stuff. My mother was basically the one who raised me, and I don't claim to be the most masculine person in the world, but I learned all my characteristics from my mother. Never learned how to play ball, sports, was made fun of in school.
Yeah.
I went to school, I mean, my mother dressed me with pink dippity-doo in my hair, the big 50s glasses. I was a nerd and a dork, and I look at my pictures back then, I make fun of myself.
I'd say.
But this is just, you know, she was proud of her little son, but again, I was made fun of.
She wanted a girl, maybe.
Well, she had a girl right after me, but just made fun of and everything.
Did she lay off the dippity-doo then?
She did. She did.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds like you're sort of alluding to the fact that you was trained to be gay.
Well, no, that had nothing to be doing with gay as of that point. But I never had male bonding relationships with my dad, anything. And then going to school, being picked on, again, just called all names. And when puberty kicked in, I really started questioning, why am I not looking at the girls and I'm looking at the boys?
Yeah.
And, you know, I tried dating.
Tried dating women.
Tried dating women and everything. It just didn't work. And then something I've really never shared publicly before, but when I was in 6th grade, I was molested by another boy.
I see.
And I was afraid to share that because when I woke up and found this kid up on top of me, I should have clocked him one, but instead I was nervous, I was afraid, and for years I carried the guilt. It was my fault because I let it happen.
How old was the boy?
Same age. We were both the same age. And again, 6th grade. And I have a son who's in 6th grade going next year.
So a boy your same age molested you?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, without getting into graphic detail, something happened that shouldn't happen between two boys.
Okay, maybe he was gay, the boy.
Well, possibly.
Yeah.
But in any case, just after all of this happened, I ended up going to art school here in New York. Tried covering everything about my homosexuality or the feelings, and got drunk one night and had a fling with another guy, and then for the next 11 years, dropped out of art school. I figured, I'm gay. This is who I must be. Went into a very bad depression, just hated who I was, bulimic, alcoholic, cocaine dealer in Connecticut, all of this crap, and I nearly died from a cocaine overdose one night back in '87, and my life was just so screwed up. I went to a drug rehab, got drugs, alcohol, bulimia taken care of, but I still had this secret, which I was gay.
Yeah.
I was fine. I fell in love with another man who was going to be my partner for life, and after over 100 men sexually, nothing I'm proud of, during an 11-year period, lost many friends to AIDS and thought I had it myself one time. My partner of many years told me, Steve, you know what? I wish we could just have one fling, maybe once a year, to keep our relationship alive. And I realized from that point, Joy, that I was never going to find happiness after 11 years and all these. I was a promiscuous gay.
Yeah.
After all this. So anyway, I just, one of my friends who was a Christian shared the gospel with me, and it wasn't praying away all the stuff.
No, it's different from that.
It is much.
But let me ask Irene something. You heard this whole story. What made you decide to marry someone who was gay all those years?
Well, I was actually, because I'm a Christian, I was praying for a husband at the time. And every night while I prayed, I really had a sense that I should pray for my husband's health, protection, and for him not to die. But I hadn't met him yet. And many, many nights I prayed for this, and I was waiting for God to, you know, send me the right man and all. And then when Stephen and I became friends, he told me he just came out of the gay lifestyle. He told me he was with many men sexually who were dead from AIDS. And it, like, just the light went on, and I thought, wow, you know what? If you're to be my husband, maybe now all my prayers make sense, because he was with people who had AIDS, could have gotten it themselves, and he never got AIDS. So I was praying for his protection, for his health.
So how did you stop being gay then?
Well, here's the thing, Joy, is that for me, it's nothing you could just pray away or anything. I never heard before, you don't have to be gay. I always thought I was born gay. I never chose to be gay. It's not a choice. I didn't choose to end up down the path. But however, I made a choice to come out of that path. For me,
But if it's not a choice, how can you choose to be out of it?
Well, I could make the choice to come out of something. I was a drug addict, alcoholic, all these things.
That's a little different, isn't it?
Well, listen, for me, it was all these behaviors that were negative. Here's the key thing, though. I addressed the key issue in my life, which was a broken relationship between me and my father. I want to, if we can't talk about that when I get back, that was the key thing that changed my life.
I don't have enough time to go through your whole history, to tell you the truth.
Take a minute.
But well, we're going to continue this in just a minute. Stay there. We're back talking about, can you pray the gay away? Can you turn from gay to straight if you want to? And I want to bring in my HLN colleague, Dr. Drew Pinsky, host of Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, what do you say to someone like Stephen who believes that you can change your own sexual orientation with therapy maybe, or dealing with your issues, or praying the gay away as Mrs. Bachman's husband is trying to do with his constituents?
Very complex territory. I mean, Stephen is a very specific case you've just heard about, where he had poly-drug addiction, bulimia, child-on-child sexual abuse, evidence of sexual addictions, and sexual identity issues, which were then being acted out. That's often different than people who have a very consolidated sense of themselves as a homosexual, may or may not have biological elements coming to that, or environmental issues. The fact is, the problem with all this is, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have the option to get treatment for whatever they want to try to change their behavior. I'm saying that there's no evidence that it can be done. There's evidence that it could be harmful. And by putting it out there consistently that this is an option, you may be shaming and harming people, young people, who are having great difficulty and ambivalence about their sexual orientation.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Drew. What do you say to that, Stephen?
Well, you know, I have a question for Dr. Drew and
He's
for
gone.
you. Okay, I have a question then for everyone. On one side, we have bisexuals, transvestites, transsexuals. They're taking hormones. They're chopping off body parts, putting new body parts on. They're going to all this extreme, and yet everybody applauds this and says this is wonderful, this is great. You know, Chaz Bono, everybody interviewed her, no one questioned her or put it down.
I'm a lesbian, I'm a man now, suit, tie, chop off breast,
this is all wonderful, right? But on this side, you have a homosexual man, not you, but a homosexual man who decides, hey, you know, I want to try and like women.
Like 97% of other men in this entire
like
world.
Most men in the world.
20 years ago, Joyce, I've been out of this for 20 years.
But wait
I'm
a minute,
the father of two beautiful kids.
Bad.
You wouldn't go straight for this lady.
It's
Come
weird.
on.
It's unnatural. It's abnormal.
I think that what they say is, I don't know about all this other stuff.
Yeah, but why is this like glorified and this a bad thing?
Because there's a lot of vilifying of homosexuals in this country.
Which we are against.
Of course you are. And a lot of people say, oh, they choose to be homosexual.
No one chooses to be homosexual. No one chooses.
I'm glad that you say
I would love to come back and talk one time when we have the time. I'd really love to do this. We have nothing against gay people whatsoever, but this is such an important story, and again, we're cut for time here. I'd really love to be able to share the truth about this.
We support
I think you've told quite a bit about it, and I think that people do understand where you're coming from,
and we
Stephen.
support homosexuals if
who
they
choose to change.
People
should have the right.
Well, the research is showing that you can't really do it, which is why Dr.
They forgot to include me in the research, Joy.
Okay.
You'll never meet a former black man, but you met a former homosexual today.
I'm happy that you came here to describe your situation. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you all for watching. Good night, everybody.